Hello everyone, I'm back with another video, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the Seraphim, his role in combat, what are his application in combat. I mean, how can you apply his role to a certain situation, and his good, effective against, and so on and so forth. And we're going to be talking about his passive ability and also active ability at the same time. Of course, before we start, make sure to like the video, and of course subscribe and turn on the notification to all notifications so you will not be missing an upload or stream from my channel. Without further ado, let's go jump straight into it. Okay, and now we have the Seraphim right here, and as you can see at the start, he is able to transform. He has two modes apparently. Okay, one on air. Now, when you produce him, he usually starts on air mode, and then you do have the option of pressing the transformation for him to go on land mode. As you can see, this is his appearance on land mode, and we'll have a look at that later on. Okay, let's talk about his stats. Now, his stats is HP, armor. No, he has two specific armor types, and as you guys can see, air is on the left, so he has a lower armor when it comes to air, which has 101 armor, and he has a stronger armor by 13 going on land. Now, in exchange for a little bit of armor, he gains more speed, 100 speed, and on land he gains more armor but lower speed. Okay, now we will talk about his active ability. Now, his active ability allows him to launch 20 energy warheads, dealing massive damage in the surrounding area. Now, you can actually use that. Alright, later on we'll get more on that. Now, this is actually, called bombardment. You can bombard specifically targeted areas, and he's actually very good when it comes to building single target buildings, and so on. Now, the passive ability allows him to go on turbo mode, meaning he will have an increase of rate of fire and speed by 30%. Now, this applies to both land and air mode. Okay, now here are the details of this passive skill himself. The rate of fire is 309. What is his current rate of fire, by the way? Wow, okay, so almost double, actually. Alright, yeah, double. Alright, so let's go jump straight into a short formation. By the way, I have class 3 of Seraphim here, and I'm waiting to get 520 blueprints. And you can actually check my previous videos on how you can acquire blueprints for free without, letting go of your cash. Alright, so here are my upgrades. I specifically had my Seraphim on both the HP and the armor. Class 1 I had these two on 5, because you can still use him and deal damage, just a little bit of damage though. But the thing is, you can only rely on his skill at that time. The main thing for him is to survive. Okay, that's why I had 11 armor and 11 HP and 12 armor. Now, for the weapon, I upgraded this to 7, and of course to increase the range to 8 on air mode and 7 on ground mode. Now, this is gonna be my next target after my class increase. I'm going to upgrade this one right here. Okay, so let's go jump straight into another portion of this guide. Okay, now we talk about his uses, his role. Okay, now here's my Seraphim right here. This is my Seraphim, and I actually grouped him in with a bunch of Cyclones. Now, Seraphim and Cyclones are actually very, very good when it comes to Jaguars, Chameleons, and Porcupine. You can either use the Seraphim passive ability or active ability on the Chameleon itself, or any buildings that you may want to target with. Alright, now as for the passive, obviously he can actually destroy a huge, or actually a small chunk of unit in a quick succession, given that his passive ability is active. Again, keep in mind that the higher the class of your hero, the more effective the skill and the passive ability will be. Alright, Now, let's go and wind this up here, and let's see how this goes. So we see a small portion of Jaguar Chameleon, and yeah, Jaguar Chameleon right here. And pretty much that's that. And yeah, just like that, and then that chameleon will certainly run for its life, and then will just get owned. And you can use an air attack boost on air mode. This affects the Seraphim, and if he is on ground mode, you can use vehicle attack. Now, the only weakness of this strategy is that if your enemy has a ton of porcupines or hawks. Basically speaking, the Cyclones will be able to tank the damage of those porcupines and hawks unless the player itself controls the hawk and that the porcupines to target the Seraphim itself. Wherein by default, those units will obviously target the Cyclones instead of the Seraphim. And the Cyclones do provide additional firepower and also cover to your Seraphim. Alright, and that's how you usually use that combination. You can actually use it to attack elsewhere or any other direction, given that you have at least a number of 10 to 12 Cyclones. And then the rest will be a land army composition composed of Solaris, Cerberus, Zeus and Shield and Torrent and Typhoon. Quite easy to use. Okay, and that's basically how you do it. Yeah, and at this point in time, basically the enemy is very screwed. Yeah, he really can't do anything about this unless he spammed a ton of anti-air, and I'm not entirely sure what he is doing at this point. But although this is just a guide or sample of how you can actually use him on Avia along with other sets of groups of units. Okay, and then we move on to another application of this video, or this actually Seraphim. Alright, and so as you guys can see right here, he's actually on land mode, and you can have him go along with your land army composition. I prefer with a shield. As you guys can see right here, he is with a shield, and of course a Typhoon to zone out those Avia, any form of Avia, whether it be Dragonfly, Albatross or Hawks. He can actually be very useful when it comes to those, or those Typhoons, that is. Now, a turret right here to help out deal with the splash damage against JCP, if ever there will be. And of course, that's your army composition. Now, you can activate the shield, and you will actually understand that you can see him have a shield effect on him. So basically, he can be affected with the shield, but this does not apply to an air mode. See? The shield effect disappears when he is on air, and you can actually see him with that shield icon at the top of his HP. Alright, and so there goes. Now keep in mind that he has a shorter range when in on ground mode, whereas he has more range on air mode. But that's what's good about him. You can actually use him on multiple scenarios based on how you would like to use him. Now, other uses would be for you to use him as a sabotage, like that in this example below. Okay, see this right here? It is guarded, but there's actually no units, and one anti-air is obviously not enough to stop the Seraphim. So, we're gonna be using the Seraphim right here, and attack that one anti-air, and just like that, it will be destroyed. And yeah, basically he can be used like this. Now, the main enemies are, you know, like alligators, a ton of porcupines. Although if there are no gun towers around here, you can just simply land and avoid the anti-air capability of the porcupine. You can just, you know, worry about the machine gun and the quantity of those porcupines alone. Remember that no heroes are good alone. Okay, they should always be with a support among them, or along with them, so that you can use them more effectively. Only the Seraphim in only rare cases are very effective on air when sabotaging, when doing guerrilla tactics that you're going to attack an undefended area of your enemy's base. That's actually one of its uses. Alright, now there it goes. And we're gonna go ahead and move him in right there. And basically speaking, he has the same speed as that of a Zeus. Alright, similar, okay, but not exactly the same on ground mode. Okay, so having switch on ground mode, there goes. Nicely done. Oh, and by the way, he does have the option of force firing, so you can force fire with the Seraphim as well. Although this is not advisable since of course the damage is quite low, and also the explosion radius is quite small as well. So better have that splash damage deal with the Zeus himself. Alright, so yeah. Now if you guys have any questions, go on ahead and subscribe. Or yeah, drop your questions in the comment down below this video. And of course, check the description. There are other YouTubers out there as well. And I would actually recommend their channel for you to check on and subscribe as well. And don't forget to check out my previous videos as they contain tips and tricks that can actually help you win a battle. Likewise, thank you for watching. Have a great day and good luck with your battles. Bye now.